Recently, I kind of hinted at getting a new animal that I was going to show off, and today is that day. You already know what it is because you read the title. A Burmese python. Now, this is a lot bigger than the average pet snake that you see in a lot of like beginner sort of videos that I do, but this one's a bit of a different story because although it is already bigger than most of those, it's also going to be the biggest of any animal that I've owned. Burmese pythons vary a ton in size, but it's basically like 10 to 20 plus feet, depending on how they're raised and the sex, and just down to the individual's genes of how big they're gonna get. So I thought I would go over my first impressions on these, how I got it, what I think about it, and if they make good pets or not, based on my experience so far. Keep in mind, I've never worked with an adult, just this one for the past couple months. So the snake was about 18 months when I got it, meaning it's about 19 or 20 months now, so almost 2 years. And it's a hypo albino, het green, het granite, male Burmese python. Both the het for green and het for granite mean that he's not showing either of these genes. It's just showing the hypo albino, which I don't even plan on breeding Burmese pythons. So those two genes are kind of pointless, but he's yellow and he looks cool. Okay, I got him off Craigslist. So if I remember correctly, the guy wanted $550 for just the snake on Craigslist, but he did not get that. I was able to negotiate him down to $450, along with throwing in a $200 vision cage. So I think that's a pretty good deal. Now, I'm not 100% sure I'm keeping the snake, but he's definitely one that I've given probably the most attention to lately. And come on, it's a Burmese python. If I have an excuse to get something like a Burmese python, it's kind of hard to say no. So the guy warned me that he is very hissy and pretty cage defensive, but claimed that he's friendly other than that. And as soon as I picked him up in a parking lot, the snake was freaking out. It was hissing like crazy and kind of just flailing all over when the guy picked him up. So I was like, I'll handle him later, once he settles in at home. So I went ahead and just gave him to me in a plastic tub, and then I got the vision cage. It was a very small vision cage. The guy claimed that it could live in it for a number of months, but I went ahead, I'm just sticking him in a 40-gallon for now. Just a pretty simple setup. This snake has a pretty big feature. It is a male, so I'm hoping that it'll stay a bit smaller, or not hoping, but expecting it to, which I'm perfectly fine with it being like 10 to 15 feet instead of 20 plus. But either way, it's not something that I would want to handle by myself as an adult, but luckily, based on my current plans, I'm always going to have help. I already have people available that can help me out with the current animals, and hopefully that won't be any different as he grows and becomes a little more dangerous. So this is not something that can eat you, but their bites are not going to be wonderful. And even at this current size, he is probably stronger than any other snake in the room, including Rosie, my 7.5-foot red-tailed boa. He is stronger than her. When he constricts around your neck, your face will turn red and you will lose oxygen. And yes, I'm doing that now, but I am able to pull him off if needed. And this is the size that I'm comfortable with right now. His face is probably one of the coolest snake faces I've ever seen. And I definitely get to see it a lot when I'm reaching into his enclosure and he's peeking at me. I don't know if he's actually cage defensive or not because he hasn't struck, but what is he doing? But he hisses a lot, and it's a loud hiss, and it's intimidating, but you just have to kind of ignore that. Still pay attention, but ignore the hiss and pull him out. I always use a snake hook when getting him out of the enclosure, especially since he's in an enclosure that I'm reaching into, so it looks pretty like intimidating from his perspective. So I am pretty careful while I do that, but so far it's gone really well, and he is not struck at all. Although he does sometimes hiss for the first few minutes that he's out, he then eventually calms down to this state. So like I said, the constricting, he doesn't do that out of like malice, it's just for him to hold on, and he holds on very tightly, and he's not scared to do so. But anyway, I was talking about the face, like the shape of it. I don't know, it's a really cool face. It's very different from other pythons that I've seen. The eyes are cool. I don't know, you can see the face yourself. What do you think of the face? Let me know what you think of their face. So the husbandry is really weird for these snakes because it's basically just a ball python husbandry, but kind of easier. A little cooler, same humidity, easier to feed. At this size, of course. As it grows, it's still the exact same husbandry, just larger meals and a larger enclosure, and a larger snake to handle with a slightly more dangerous bite that isn't gonna ruin your life, but it's gonna hurt quite a bit. And then of course they can constrict quite a bit, which is why I would mostly be comfortable doing this with someone else. Even the strongest person is probably better off with someone spotting them or helping them out, although you could get away with handling adults yourself. These start out really small. You can get them as little wee babies. Like many snakes, there are tons of morphs available, which I find most of them pretty uninteresting. I just like the normals and anything kind of yellowy like the albino here, or hypo albino or whatever. And so they're definitely easily available. You can find them kind of everywhere at Repticons online or whatever. I don't think this is really an animal that many people are gonna buy by mistake. I think it's pretty hard to purchase a Burmese without knowing what you're getting. It's just the name Burmese python, everybody recognizes it. It's that crazy snake that's like invading the world. I guess I contradicted myself, because they're invading the world because people don't know what they're buying and they're releasing them and they're breeding in the wild and ruining the native populations. So I guess people do buy them without knowing what they're getting. But I think people are starting to learn better of what they're actually in for. Do I know what I'm in for? I don't know. I think so. We'll find out. So definitely what surprised me the most is just the strength of the animal at this size, which gives a really good idea of just what he's going to be like as an adult. And it's a spooky thought, but it's exciting and intimidating in a cool way, as long as I go about it responsibly. So like Rosie, my red-tailed boa, I don't even let her around my neck like this really. Like I don't do this with Rosie, because even though I could probably pull her off, there's no reason to do that. I usually try and keep her on my shoulder or around my waist or something, where I won't immediately like pass out if I'm suffocated there for too long or squeezed in that spot for too long. So even now, it's a bit harder to breathe, but I can just pull him away like this. But he's very relaxed, so yeah. So at first I was not comfortable with him this close to my face, but I handled him for a few hours as soon as I brought him home, and he just immediately started doing really well, which is exciting to see. Definitely my favorite feature of him is just the shape and look of his face, the different kind of body lines and scale formations he has going on there. His pattern is pretty boring and bland overall. His belly is just kind of an off whitish yellow that I don't really care about that much. But he's in really good condition, especially coming from Craigslist, because you never know what to expect. Sometimes it's not even the species you expect. Sometimes it's dead on arrival when they meet you in some random parking lot. Sometimes the person's just really weird, but this one, he was actually like in good condition. So that was cool to see, because you never know what to expect. So you have to kind of be ready to like decline animals on Craigslist in person. And again, negotiating is pretty important, but I'm willing to take that risk, and now we've taken a lot of Craigslist risks. Like I said, I think it's kind of interesting that I've never actually handled a full-fledged Burmese in person. I just bought one as a youngin'. So I'm sure people have like various opinions on when you should buy an animal. Like, am I prepared for it? Do I know what I'm getting myself into? Even if I've seen videos of them, should I have worked with one in person beforehand? Which honestly, I don't know where I would do that, and I didn't feel necessary doing that. So the biggest snake that I've worked hands-on with myself is about 7 to 8 feet, and he'll blow this one out of the water pretty quickly. So, although I don't know exactly how quickly he'll grow, we'll get to watch that, and I'll try to keep weighing him and measuring him to keep up with it. So would I just flat out recommend this to anyone? I don't know yet, but I think husbandry-wise, it's just funny how simple they are and how basic they are. And once you have the setup going, it's going to be really easy to maintain and keep going. As far as I know, I don't think of them as picky eaters. And they can eat big things, of course. They can eat, like, they're gonna eat something larger than rats, like rabbits or chickens or whatever the ideal meal is for that. But right now, he's just on rats. But assuming I am keeping him, this is the first animal I've gotten for myself in a pretty long time, because I don't really keep that many for myself. Most get rehomed or sold. So yeah, if I end up keeping him, which I'm pretty excited about him, then it'll be a pretty cool addition. And after him, I think I'm pretty satisfied with my personal animals. Saying that, you might be like, oh yeah, everybody says that. You're gonna get another, you're gonna keep wanting more. But I've been able to gauge pretty well that I'm quite satisfied with what I personally have. And I'm still thinking of rehoming a couple of those. I keep going back and forth on it. Right now I have 19 or 20 of my own animals, and then there's dozens that are being worked with otherwise. Because all my time is taken up by all of the other stuff. Like, I'm not even hands-on with the animals that much, so he's kind of the only one that I've really voluntarily been hands-on with, just for funsies, just to work with. And of course, at this size, I really want to condition him to not hate people, because once he's bigger, it's not going to be fun. I much prefer doing it at this size. So if you're getting one, I would highly recommend you get one that's young or a baby or smaller. Well, I shouldn't say smaller because it could be a stunted adult, but either way, I would not want to, A, my first experience be with an adult, B, my first experience to be with an adult that's angry, and yeah, see, I don't know, see, is just A and B. So I'd rather work with a juvenile that isn't too crazy to start. But I think this will be the right one. So make sure to follow on the socials, on Instagram and Twitter, if you want more updates on my personal animals, because I often post a lot of those on Instagram, since I've been focusing the YouTube more on other animals that are coming in and out. But you'll see him kind of all over the place. Is he mine? I don't know. I think I'll keep him. I don't think I'm going back at this point. So yeah, the only concern I have is the fact that I don't know what it's like to work with a massive one in person, but I think I can predict it pretty well. And I think I've kind of baby stepped my way up to this point to where it's time to try something pretty big. Next up, I'll be getting a rock python. Probably not, I don't want a rock python. So it's cool to say that I officially own a Burmese python, even if he is just this quote little dude, even though compared to most snakes that I'm used to, he's pretty big, since I'm kind of been doing ball pythons for the past number of years. But what do you think of them? Are they on the radar for you? Do you plan on getting one yourself? If you could, would you? If you can, why won't you? I don't know. Thanks to the members who actually saw this snake like right when I got him, because I was posting them on the Discord server. If you join the membership, I've been lagging with a couple things like wallpapers and live streams, but you do get early access videos. You can chat with me on the Discord server. You also get one-on-one kind of like more quick responses from me, since I don't really check social media messages anymore. Just the member stuff because it's overwhelming otherwise. Also, sorry for the last video where your names froze on the screen. That wasn't on purpose. Hopefully the names are not freezing today. So yeah, I appreciate that support. Hopefully you enjoyed. Merchandise is still available, but it's now on a new site if you've been looking for it. There's only one design, but there's more to come as always, because merch is fun. And it's just kind of it's a cool way to wear clothing. I don't know. This is my yellow boy, and that's it. So I'm Alex, and thanks for watching.